last minute trip. I've got to go get my license. I didn't think I was going to be able to get an appointment to take my my exam. It's a 20 question exam on a computer, and they give you like the 200 questions and you could study them. I think I'll do really well. I think I'll pass it first try. But anyways, I've got to go take the exam right now. My friend gave me a call. He said he talked to the boss of the Transito in Aloha and got me an appointment before I was able to do it before. So really cool. It's like the funny thing about living in Ecuador, or like you know, most other South American countries. If you're in the States, you know, good luck greasing elbows and finding a way to you know, expedite the process at like the DMV or something. But here it's cool. It's a little bit different, a little bit more mellow. So yeah, I'm out of here. I had my eggs and sardines. I also had some chlorella and chocolate cacao this morning, and I'm off to take my test in the city. I don't really like to go that often, but I'm excited for this trip because I wanted to get this done forever. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I don't want to have to put the top down. Crazy drive. The roads here are not made for vehicles. Rather, vehicles here are not made for these roads. Like, there's no car that can handle 10 years just bashing on these little dirt roads, getting rattled to death. It's pretty crazy. And that's part of why I spent so much energy building this truck the way it is, and making sure that everything is tight, there's no rattles, and you know, just spent so much time on all the little details, the like post-production details, is because these roads are brutal. You know, if something's a little bit loose, it is gonna shake loose on these roads. And people drive insane here too, so it's like you want a little bit of oomph. What I wanted to be able to make passes going up hills. Like, I wanted enough power and enough torque to where I could make a pass around some of these crazy taxi drivers and crazy buses to get into a safe space on the roads. Because yeah, these bus drivers, I mean, I'll see on the way here, I saw a bus driver, no hands on the wheel, phone on his ear, covering his other ear so he could hear his phone because the bus inside was so loud. You'll see them making passes. You'll see buses making passes when there's blind curves coming up ahead. The taxis do the same thing. I was driving behind a taxi, and there was plenty of space in front of us, and the guy was going to make a pass, but he didn't accelerate when he was passing. So I'm behind the guy trying to make a pass, and then another car comes around the corner. And so just situations like that, you want a little bit of power. And so yeah, it's nice to finally be able to make passes going up hills and stuff. I don't know what kind of horsepower and torque this motor's pushing, but it's probably somewhere around 300 horsepower to the wheels. I'm turning big 33-inch tires in a really heavy truck. So for how heavy it is, for how big these tires are, I'm really happy with how it gets up and goes, especially when you get into that like peak power band from like 3,000 to 5,000 RPM. This thing will pull hard. So yeah, I'm waiting for my buddy. Check it out, I've got my little, this is super funny. Check this kid out. That's the chief of police of the Transit Authority of Ecuador right there. So I've got like, I don't know, this is my driving school stuff. It was my audio test. Look at that. Don't know what the hell any of that means. Don't know what any of this stuff means. Most of it seems so arbitrary to me. I'm not a big fan of bureaucracy. I'm not a big fan of going to cities. But here I am. So yeah, I'm gonna meet my buddy, and my buddy Pato, saving the day, and getting me an appointment when we've got Semana Santa here, where a lot of people are not gonna be working for the next week. So I got in kind of at the last minute to get my license, and I'm really hoping I better pass this test. 16 to pass out of 20 questions. I gotta do this. Wish me luck. Always amuses me to check out the food court here. Over where we live, it's like little small family restaurants and stuff. When you get into the cities, no matter where you're at, no matter what part of the world you're at, this shit shows up. Freaking KFC. Look at this, got the Chicky Park. Boom, boom, boom. So you got KFC, and then you got some delicious, nutritious ice cream, pizza, Chinese food. At least the food court's empty, right? Isn't that kind of nice? It's not lunchtime, but at least the food court's empty. Check this really healthy stuff out. Hola, ¿cómo estás? And then more ice cream. Crazy, right? Oh, look at the donuts. For Nick Dompierre, right there. Shout out to Nick. He loves donuts. I'm doing my license exam. You can cut the tension with a knife. Kind of nervous. Here it goes. I did it. I almost failed. I got 16 out of 20. There was a couple questions where I had no idea what they were talking about. But I got the minimum amount of right answers to pass and get my license finally. I'm so stoked. Check it out. Here, I'll cover my information. Boom. Look at that. After 6 years, no, longer than that. After like 7 years of driving in Ecuador without a license, I only drive around our small town for the most part. We do road trips every now and then, but usually the police are really cool because I've got a California license, and technically you have 3 months in the country with a foreign license, and usually they just never ask me questions. But now I'm fully legal. I don't have to worry about anything on the roads here. So I'm gonna go buy a couple of things, and that we need for the house. What do I need? Oh, I need a radiator cap for my truck, which I'm gonna get first, and then I need to get a gas can. So I'm gonna take a taxi. I'll bring the camera with me. I'll give you guys some of the sights and sound of the city here in Aloha. I'm stoked. Taxi. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Me voy a 18 y Quito. Tengo que comprar una tapa radiador. You know what I noticed during the test is when they were asking, like when I was filling in my information, they only had 2 genders on the paper. I thought that was pretty weird. And then I realized the entire Spanish language only recognizes 2 genders. Can you guys believe that? So I didn't even realize it, but I'm living in a bigoted language structure right now. Only 2 genders in the whole language of Spanish. So like everybody around me, everybody I live around is involved in hate speech all day long, and has just been doing it their whole lives, and they don't even know it yet. I'm gonna try to get on this and help fix that situation here in Ecuador, because that's just really offensive. What's up, buddy? Wow. Yeah. Yo estoy buscando para una tapa radiador.
¿Para qué carro?
Para un blazer, es para un tipo grande. Necesito de 15 libras.
Ya te veo.
Okay. You're so cute. You're so cute. I don't like small dogs, but a French bulldog is the only small breed of dog that I would get. I'm really partial. I very much like pit bulls. I've told myself many times I'll never get another dog other than Pit, but I like these little things. The only other dog other than like a French bulldog or a pit bull that I would consider getting would be an English bull terrier. Or is that what they call them? Or just a bull terrier? Call them English bull terrier or bull terrier? I don't know. My friend's got one and they're pretty psycho. That's the only problem, is they're freaking crazy. I want to adopt you. Come on with me. This is so cute. This little divot. Oh yeah. You're so cute. So I got my radiator cap, I got my license, and the last thing I wanted to do is get some of these little gas cans, but I'm having some trouble finding them. I think I'm gonna call it a day and head over to my car and go home because everyone's closing for lunch. Everyone closes for lunch around 1 o'clock here. They take an hour-long break, so a lot of the stores which I would be looking for these gas cans in are gonna be closed. So I'm out of here. I'm gonna try to get this cab. Taxi! No. Find a freaking taxi. All the taxis are full. Hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? ¿Puedes traerme a Super Maxi por favor? It's lunchtime, check it out. It's not like I don't get tempted with these things, right? It's like I'm human. When I walk by the donuts, when I walk by the cake, I smell them. And physiologically my body's like, put that in your mouth, put that in your mouth, chew it up and swallow it. Because I know how good it tastes. But the thing is, it's really easy to kind of resist those temptations when you're focusing on something else, right? Like when you're feeding on something else other than just the taste and the texture and the temporary pleasure of that little sugar rush that always leaves you lacking. You know, I mean, you feel good for maybe 5-10 minutes and then you crash, right? You know, it tastes pretty good, but in the long run, it doesn't really suit me. It doesn't really do me any good. So all I do when I see the donuts, when I see the cake, yeah, sometimes I'll take a look. Sometimes I'll even smell them as I'm walking by and admire the delicious smell. But there's just physiological tricks. You know, our body is wired to want these foods. Our body is wired to overeat these foods when they're available. Problem is, they're always available. That's the cool thing about keto. Keeps your hunger low, keeps you with steady energy throughout the day, so that I simply can say no when I walk past the donuts. And I mean, it's really, what's more important to me is how I feel, how my body performs. You know, being able to have steady energy throughout the day, have more stabilized moods, stable blood sugar. To me, that's what I feed on. That's what I focus on. And that's what's important to me long term. So I could look at the donuts and say, yeah, those look really good, but I don't care for it. It's not worth it. So I walk past the ice cream and I just drink water. That's a nice thing about keto and kind of the meal split that I usually do. I eat a nice big breakfast in the morning. I get completely satiated until the late afternoon. And then I have kind of a more early dinner. Sometimes I'll eat as late as like 6 or 7. But I usually have dinner around 5, sometimes as early as 4. And I call it a day, you know? Real simple, gives me my whole day to live and not have to worry about food. And that's what I love about it. That octopus or squid, whatever that is, looks really gross. But the salmon looks good. What's interesting too is no matter where you go in the world, you see the same publications or the same propaganda everywhere. Check out the filth of the magazines here in Ecuador too. I mean, that one's not so silly. Que miedo. Vladimir Putin looking all sexy. Que miedo, what fear that means. So, same stuff, same shit, just fear porn.